Hey folks, Randy here with Doing Cut and Trim. So, as you guys know, I use older equipment, which means it does break down more than obviously the newer stuff, and so it needs to be repaired. But it's a major time crunch if you've got to load the equipment back into the truck, drive back to your shop, and put it in your shop and fix it there. So I, from the get-go, have always wanted to be able to service all my equipment in the field. The theory I had is that I want to be able to completely dismantle a mower completely in the field and be able to put it back together with tools that I have in the truck. So I've been working on this for, stuff comes and goes for a couple of years, but I wanted to show you what's in my toolkits. It's basically 3 separate kits. They're not the greatest in the world, but they're perfect for what I'm trying to do. So I figured I would show them to you guys. Hopefully it's helpful to you. It's 3 kits, and I'm going to show them to you from smallest to largest. Kind of go from there. So the first kit, this is my tire repair kit. If I'm in the field and something goes in the tire, this is the kit. Obviously there's not much to it. Just got the reamer, the thing that puts these bad boys in there. I go through a lot of these, unfortunately. So I like this. I actually got these. There was like a pack of 30 when I got them. So those, little knife to cut off the excess, and then of course a whole bunch of Schrader valves, and a little tool to remove Schrader valves. Sometimes I'll keep some slime in here. I was really trying to save a tire earlier this season, so I went through a lot of slime. It was ultimately unsuccessful. The next is, I actually think there's a couple bits from this that are missing, but it's the Tecton 3/8 socket set. I really like this set. It's SAE and metric. See if I can get it a little better so you can, whatever, we'll just have to show you. But obviously you got the 3/8 ratchet. The universal joint thing is missing. Don't know what I did with it. But it has shallow and deep sockets for everything. So it goes from 8 to 19 in metric. And then for SAE, or American, it goes from 5/16 to 3/4. That's enough to do absolutely everything on my mower except for replace a spindle, to rebuild a spindle. I can take a spindle off, but I can't replace a spindle. I can't rebuild a spindle in the field, but I could replace it in the field. That's the only thing it's not big enough for. But with this set, I can take apart literally everything on the mower. Absolutely everything. This set is on Amazon for like 50 bucks. And you can get replacement sockets for a couple bucks a piece, and it's perfect. Works great for me. So this is the socket set that I carry. Bolt back in here. And then last but not least is the toolbox with everything else in it. So Milwaukee 12-volt flashlight, impact gun. I keep an impact socket. This is the socket that replaces the blades on the mower. I just keep that on there, and takes them off pretty easy. Obviously not as great as the 18-volt one, but oh, and it's 3/8. One of these days I want to get the stubby. I think that thing's pretty cool. I'd love to get the stubby, because it's like, this does 120 foot-pounds of torque, and it's like the real torque, not like the Harbor Freight torque, but it's like actual torque. And so this does 120 foot-pounds. But I mean, in reality, like I can take the lug nuts off a car with this, but I can't take the lug nuts off my truck. So if I had the stubby, that would definitely take it off. So and then I also have the electric ratchet. I really like using this thing. It's got the 1/2 inch adapter on there. Whoops! But it's actually a 3/8. I love this thing. I use this all the time. Of course, we got the pliers, which I discovered this year is actually kind of handy. This little opening right here you can use for cut and trim line. That probably everyone in the world knew that. I didn't realize that till this year. I typically use these to cut my trim line. They are not sharp at all. If you're thinking about getting these cutters from Harbor Freight, don't, because they struggle with trim line. I honestly don't even know why these are in here, because they are useful for basically nothing. Fuses, I don't really need to carry these around anymore. I was blowing a lot of fuses in the beginning of the season, so I was carrying those around. This thing is cool. If you guys have not seen Knipex pliers wrenches, you need to look them up. These are really, really cool. I love these things. It's like having a, well, it's like having pliers and wrench all in one. I mean, it's like, I used to use pliers a lot. Now, if I ever have the opportunity, I use these because it keeps the jaws parallel to each other. You see that? Like, and so you just set it to however big or small you need it. And man, once it grabs on, once you lock on, it ain't letting go. There's no more rounding over anything. So, like if I have to replace a wheel belt, a lot of times you got to take off the, I don't know, for lack of a better word, the pulley or something. I can't remember what it's called, but you have to take this off in order to replace the wheel bearing or the tire belt. And so what I'll do is I'll put this on one side and clamp down, and then on the other side, takes it off super easy. Screwdriver, obviously, you know, Phillips head. I mean, I don't think I need to explain that. Never needed this, but it's always good to have one in there. I've got like 10 of these. Whenever Harbor Freight's offering a free tape measure with a purchase, I go in, I buy a pencil or something, and I get that. You know why. All right. Extra switch for when we need it. Actually, I'm probably going to put this switch on my Time Master, because my Time Master kill switch is getting stuck in the kill position and it's annoying. Alright, very cheap, very, very cheap multimeter. They really kind of, I mean, this thing is, it's stunningly cheap. It doesn't even make a noise. So you just, like when you're doing continuity testing, you got to actually look at it because it's not going to make a sound. But you know, it's nice, small. I got a nicer one that I keep in the shop. If you own steel, this should not need to be explained to you. You know why I have this. Wire stripper. These things are so cool, dude. Like, yeah, they're cool. If you don't own one, get one. They are so fun to use. It's like magic. Just chink. I like these. This is the string that I use for all my equipment, like any of the pull cords. So blower, mower, trimmer. This is the pull cord that I use when whenever they eventually break. Okay, and then I have a can't remember what the right word for it is, so I'm going to use the old man term, spanner. And so for metric, I've got it from 8 to 21. That takes care of everything except for rebuilding spindles, like I said, but I wouldn't do that in the field anyway. So it goes from 8 to 21, and it just sits in there, and then actually I got them all organized, sort of. And then I've also got standard, and I can't remember, that goes, let's see, like this is the smallest one, I think. This goes from 5/16. I think I go up all the way up to 3/4, I think. Well, this is 7/8, so that's bigger than 3/4. I don't know, it goes up to 7/4 inch or something. And then the only other thing that I keep in here, scraping the deck, and a pruning blade for, I have a 12 volt hacksaw thing from Milwaukee, and it's just easier to keep that in here. So those are the tools that I take with me everywhere. I can literally rebuild a 1996 Toro Pro line with this stuff. And it's not that hard. The only thing that is in here that probably doesn't need to be in here is this. However, I think it would be good to get the normal kind in, not like this type, but the one, you know what I'm talking about, like the normal kind. It's too early in the morning, man. I can't remember what anything's called. Milwaukee's got some cool ones. I'm kind of a Milwaukee fanboy, kind of like fanboy, but without the credit card or the money to spend on it. And so The only other, I guess, tool that I carry around, this is pretty cool, and it was sitting outside in the morning dew, so it's a little wet. It's this digital inflator from Husky. I got this at Home Depot, and this is like really nice because it plugs into your car's cigarette lighter, which you probably figured, and that was what turns it on, and then you just set it to the desired PSI, hit start, and it'll do it for you. But the thing that's really great is that and I'm not going to pull it out because it's a pain to put back in, but the cigarette lighter cord is 13 feet long. So when I was having all those issues with flat tires, you know, the mower could be sitting in the back of the truck with a flat tire. I could plug this in the truck, and there was enough cord to reach all the way into the back of the truck so that I could inflate it. But the other thing that's really great, is that I'll open this up because it's much of a pain, but obviously, you know, that's your thing, which I actually prefer this locking on to the word that I can't remember. I like it better than the kinds that screw on, you know. I don't like those. But this also, there it is. This one you can also just plug into a regular outlet, you know, because that's the problem I've always had. I've always either had one or the other, but with this you got both. It's really nice. And then, you know, a bunch of adapters I don't use. But yeah, man, I just wanted to show that to you. These are the tools that I keep in my truck at all times, and I can repair literally, bug got in my coffee, man. I can repair literally anything on my mower with that kit, and really saves me time. Obviously, I keep spare belts for everything in the truck. The only spare belt I don't have is I don't have any Time Master spare belts, but I think I actually need to order those because blades were slipping the other day. But yeah, just wanted to show that to you guys. This is Randy with Doing Cut and Trim. Hope this was helpful to you. Have a good one.